Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sonic Comic Chaos. I'm your host, Silveracer1, and joining me as always is my co-host, Ian Waffles. Ian, say hi.
Hello.
We're back, folks. Did you miss us? We missed you. I know a lot of you missed us because y'all didn't fucking watch Mecha Madness, that's for sure.
So it's been a long time.
Oh, we're just kidding. We love you all. But hey, we're back to talk about what is this art called? Enerjak Reborn? Enerjak something? Enerjak Reborn. It's a fun jaunt. We'll get into that more in a sec though, because it's time for our world famous segment, Ian Ace Read Your Comments. Is it time for that? I feel like we usually have a bit more preamble before we go into Ian Ace Read Your Comments.
Well, usually you try to set me up for failure and I have to respond on the fly. And then we have a little laughing match. But that didn't happen this time because Knuckles killed my mom.
Ian, you can't say those things.
Well, I'll just explain the context because it's pretty funny.
Yeah, okay. Do I need to explain the context?
No, I'll do it. So,
okay.
All right, guys. So whenever we do these podcasts, like I set up like a StreamYard thing, and then I always set it to unlisted. So the people at home, they don't get spoiled, which means I also put some very, very crazy titles because, we got to put something in there so I can make it work. And I always want to make the Silver Ace laugh. And so I put in, Knuckles killed my mom. It's just going to be a little funny little joke between him and I, having a good old gaff. But then I come to realize that I set this to public. So I have a friend who messages me. And he takes his screen cap. And if you don't know, on my YouTube page, the little channel bar is like Jesus hugging me. It's got like this cool like hand stretched out. It looks really awesome. So whoever drew it. And then so that appears. So it's a picture of Jesus hugging me, and then it says Knuckles killed my mom. And he goes, "Do I want to know?" So then we come in here, and I just want to remind you, anytime we come in here like normal, just know that some crazy shit probably happened before. So when Ace was like, "Oh, hello everybody, we're welcome back to it," no, that it's not true. It's not.
Yep. I'll have to throw in that image when you're talking. It's a sight to behold.
Anyway,
there we go. Now we're into it.
All right.
All right. Now, Ian and Ace, read your comments. So I just want to say, I didn't tally it up, but you definitely lost on the bacon buckle.
100%. Yeah.
Which, okay, Ian, now's the time. You can say it. You can say it was a bit.
That it was a bit. Yeah. It's definitely a bit. I was all those commenters trying to help you feel more, more like your fans love you.
No, you fucking dickhead. You know what I meant.
So, Chewie reigns supreme as usual, but he's a pretty good Star Wars character, so I wouldn't doubt him.
Wait, do you wait, so the Chewie Bacon thing was not a bit. That was
not Chewie Bacon's the best. You're all stupid. That's my
Ian. I would say we got like some fence riders who were like, "Oh, I think a good mix is good." You had a surprising amount of people who said they don't eat bacon, but zero people,
to my knowledge, that just said crunchy. Like they were fully on your side. So you won.
There were a couple of people who said crunchy. There were zero people who were like, "Yeah, I think chewy gum-like bacon is the best way."
My sarcastic familia.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's Sonic, guys. But from Cartoon Bros Toon Channel 1996. When I read Archimedes word bubbles, I've always imagined him as Samuel L. Jackson's voice.
I like that, and he's Samuel. So, Australian Samuel L. Jackson.
Has Samuel L. Jackson ever done an Australian accent for a role?
Watch there be a comment that's going to be like, "You fucking troglodytes." He is Australian.
Oh, no.
I'm sure that's not true. It can't be.
I doubt it. But all right. Then from Patrick Sandlin, 25-2 or 252 or 252. I can't help but see Silver Ace.
I just have to look up troglodyte to make sure I didn't say a slur. I was like, wait a second.
Well, you just said it again. If it is,
it's not. It means cave dwellers. We're good. Anyway, continue. Not Jesus killed my mom. Knuckles killed my mom. There you go. Got to keep it in track.
Jesus killed my mom. Oh no. All right. From Patrick Sandlin 252. I can't help but see Silver City of Awful's dynamic to very similar to Knuckles and Sonic respectively, which is ironic considering the next arc they're covering. Also, if they see this, Hyena and Ace, love your Sonic content. Keep up the awesome work. Why, thank you. And
thank you. I appreciate it. Any comment that's ever like, hey, I like your podcast. You baffle me and I love you. So
yeah, well, you have to be baffled. But yeah, my dad did put me in a microwave when I was a child. So
and I turned out great. I don't know what Knuckles is complaining about.
Yeah, but also Ian, when my dad tries to kill me, when I turn evil, if you could like not let him do that, that'd be great.
I'll beat the shit out of you to save your soul.
Please do, please do,
please do.
And then from Dank Waifu 2093,
that's a great name.
That's pretty good. Well, Archie Sonic / House of Cards is making the rounds on Twitter again, using the usual "He worships me" panel. So this video ended up being fairly topical. It always happens. And it's always your fault, Ian.
Well, I think like genuinely, like. I think it's twice a year that image will make the rounds, like just consistently. So it's never gonna die.
And then a couple more from Bowser Breaker 2515. I thought your conversation in the beginning about the comics is very interesting. I never loved Flynn because he made it like the games. He really didn't. He just took what the comic was and made it better. I love the comic characterizations. I know I'm not the only one who prefers them. Just look at you guys are low art. And then at 1701, he said, "Don't you dare make fun of Stan Lee's writing. It's great." Hey, I love Stan Lee's writing. But you cannot deny the fact that if there's a comic he's writing where Spider-Man's fighting the Human Torch and the Human Torch encircles him in flame, Spider-Man's going to say, "Oh no, he's encircling me in flame."
Awesome.
And I think that's all the ones I had prepped for this. But yeah. So I guess we can start. We can hippity hop into Enerjak Reborn. So Ian.
That's me.
We've been very complimentary of Ian Flynn's run.
Even blah, 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 yeah, I like him.
Yeah, we've been fairly complimentary of his run thus far. Because it's good. It's great. But if I may offer one small bit of tepid criticism, it's that I'm tired. Why is this is like the 5th arc in a row that's the biggest, most earth-shattering thing ever that will blow your fucking dick off. It's like,
did it?
Yes, again. It's like I just stop.
But these reattachment surgeries take a lot of money, Mr. Flynn.
They do. But it's like we're doing it like it's like we're gonna fucking the egg fleet's gonna show up and the sky's gonna explode and characters are gonna die. It's like, yes, you did that. You've done that every arc since you took over the book. Like, can we just get like a beach episode or something?
We get close to that next episode where you know it's not going to be the end of the world, but some people are told to kill themselves, so that's pretty great. It's a crazy arc.
Yeah, well, I don't know. When I was going to read this, I was just like, oh, okay. Like that was genuinely reactions. Like, okay, I guess we're doing this again.
Did you feel the sense of like, by the end of this, I'm going to be a changed person. I'm kind of tired of it.
Yeah, I guess it was just like
that's awesome.
And it's good. Like, here's the thing. Like, I enjoyed the whole thing. All my notes are positive, but it's just like, God, just settle down, mate. Like,
yeah, no, I mean that's definitely to me like what I really enjoy about Flynn's run, especially early on, is just that, you know, he's like, I've read this comic for 15 years of my stupid life and nothing's happened, so I'm going to do everything.
I mean, that's very fair. It's not the missile silo arc where nothing happens for 4 consecutive issues, but like
now it's everything happens every arc.
Yeah, it's just like am I crazy? Like it's a lot.
Oh, it's a lot. I love the riding the wave. It doesn't exhaust me. Well, also mostly because like especially with the Knuckles stuff. Like obviously I've read all the Knuckles material and I know all that stuff. So to me, like with all of Flynn's work, it's like you're just constantly getting like a dopamine rush of like, oh, this thing and this thing and this thing. But like it's not just like, oh, it's coming back. It's like, oh, he's doing something with this and this and this and this. And so yeah, but I get how it could be like exhausting where it's like, oh my gosh, guys, can these people catch a break?
But yeah, so well, just yeah, so that's just something I want to get off the top of my head at the top of the show. But yeah,
fair enough.
Let's hop into Archie's Sonic the Hedgehog number 180. Sonic the Hedgehog and Eggman, friends,
finger behind back.
But so, how does the comic start, Ian?
The comic starts and Sonic is like, Eggman, I'm gonna kill you. But no, like Eggman is, he took his little 2-chapter sabbatical, and he's back, and he's got a big virus, and he's like, I'm gonna insert this into the city and kill Nicole. And Sonic is like, bro, if this were like any other arc, that would be really, really fascinating, interesting. Please leave. And they have a cool little fight too. Because like what I really like is like the different tentacles. Sonic is consistently, as they're having this conversation, leaning them into each other so like they break. And then like while he's doing this, he's trying to explain, because at the end of the House of Cards, Dimitri came back and he said that Enerjak has returned. And so during this whole fight, he's like Eggman, God's back, and he's like, God, the one that killed my mom. And so he says, Enerjak's here, and that's always the really cool thing, is that Enerjak, he was never in the Sonic comics. He was always in Knuckles, and Eggman and Sonic never actually interacted with him, like, ever. So it's actually kind of cool that like they've heard about him from Knuckles, or just from like, I think Eggman was dead at the time, so he would have just like heard about it or like done research. And so like when Eggman hears that Enerjak is back, there's this cool shot where like he's about to hit Sonic, and Sonic is about to like react or whatever, and then he stops and he's like, all right, fine, like tell me. It's really cool. It's like a really good scene.
Yeah, I also like it when Sonic has encounters with tentacles. But so yeah, so they're fighting. Yeah, he says like, look, shit's about to go down. We don't have time for this. Then we cut to the Acorn Council, who are just the worst. Like this is the start of a very long thing of the Acorn Council going like, I don't know if you freedom fighters should do stuff.
Yes, and I love them for it.
Yeah, it's fun. They provide a fun like foil to them.
Yeah, because it's really cool, the idea of like we fought to get democracy, and then we realize, oh wait, democracy sucks.
Yeah. I will also say Rosemary's looking quite good in her councilwoman.
She's looking quite foxy, said the Silver Ace.
Oh yeah, I said.
No, but yeah, the council's basically just like, hey, we want to protect you guys from being killed by God. And Sally's like, bro, we fight God every day. So
yeah. He killed my mom. The audience is gonna get tired of this bit real quick.
Wait, we can stop.
We won't though. We never stop. Case in point, I was never stopping. But so Dimitri, he rolls up and he's like, hey, I know most of you probably didn't read the Knuckles comics, so let me tell you who Enerjak is.
Yes.
He's like, I was Enerjak. But then I got my power stolen, and so then all my aging caught up to me, and so then I was made into a robot, but now I'm a robot head because Dr. Evil took me apart, so that's bad. And now Enerjak is coming, and we're all going to die. And the council's like, it sounds like it can wait. We're on recess right now. And so
they're trying to decide how to do it. Do we fight from here? Do we send people up to Enerjak?
Yes.
What do we do?
And then, but meanwhile, Charmy he's in the vents of the council building, and he's relaying the information back to the other Chaotix. And Julius is like, all right, well, Enerjak's back on Angel Island. I got to go help my man.
Yes.
So
he hasn't called in 2 days.
Yes, he has not called or even written.
Or even written, yeah.
But yeah. So Sonic back with Sonic and Eggman. They're like, all right. Just can we just not fuck each other over? Like, we're gonna team up, we're gonna fight Enerjak, and then don't like try to kill us afterwards, or like put us in tubes or whatever fucking other shit you want to do. Stop it, Eggman.
Yeah, I really like that. Eggman's like, yes, we're best friends. Like, shake hands, and Sonic grabs his hand and like yanks him forward, and he's like, motherfucker, I am serious. Yeah. Like Sonic, like I really like Sonic's attitude in this first issue. He is really on the ball,
Yeah. I wrote in my notes, God, it's so refreshing for Sonic to not like Eggman.
Yeah.
Because it is. But yeah, so he's like, all right. Eggman's like, all right. And then even when he leaves, Sonic's like, I feel dirty, like having him on our side. But yeah, so then Nicole shows up and she's like, hey, the Chaotix are tearing up the airport. So can you go like stop them?
Yeah, I love it. I love his line where he's like, well, things couldn't get any worse. So then she appears and he goes, I almost felt that one coming.
Yeah.
Like, he's so pissed all the time. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. And also it's really funny. Like Mighty just fucking throws a guy.
It's his job. He'll be fine.
Yeah. But then we cut to Haven 2, which is there a Haven 2? Did we know there was a Haven 2?
Haven 2. I'm trying to think. What's happening in the scene?
Just above Haven 2, above the Master Emerald's chambers. Scourge and Fiona are talking to Dr. Evil.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Haven 1 is like their little secret base. That all got like destroyed during Return to Angel Island. So I guess they're just saying like, yeah, the new base of operations. So like Haven 2 or whatever.
Gotcha. All right. Well, yeah. So Scourge is oh my God, Scourge literally calls him Dr. Evil.
There
he
you
calls
go.
him Dr. Creepy Von Evil.
Yep. So there you go.
Which is great. We're talking about Dr. Finitevis, by the way, for people who haven't listened to all the previous episodes, because he's the most evil man to have ever lived.
Yeah.
Look at him.
His eyes, when he blinks, are blood red.
Yeah. What's going on here? He's basically like, hey, look, shit's going down.
Yeah, so like Scourge is working for them like as like a little guard or whatever. Because he just wants to fuck over Sonic and do whatever he wants. But yeah, his job is basically just keep track of the echidnas, keep track of the dingoes, so that like nobody pulls anything on me while I'm trying to like get everything done.
Gotcha. Yeah, audience, just a little peek behind the curtain. We were supposed to record this a week ago, and I read this a week ago, so I'm a little fuzzy on some of the finer details. But
well, also like these are all like very like minute stuff, so it's fine. I'll fill you in.
That. But yeah, so basically back in, and it's funny. So Scourge is really living that quiet quitting life, where Finitevis goes away, and he's like, and Scourge just starts chilling, and he's like, look, you heard him. Like, we're not supposed to do anything, so I'm just gonna chill. And yeah, but so back in Mobotropolis, Sonic's fighting the Chaotix. It's a cool fight scene because he like 1v5s them by just kind of like not getting hit.
He's just Dutch jumping around. He uses Vector's like beak or like his mouth as like a diving board, and it like flaps around.
Yeah, it looks very painful.
But yeah, because his whole thing is just like, guys, we need to like all work together and figure out what we're doing. Like, let's not cause like a conflict of like who's going where and who's doing what. Like, let's figure this out, Yeah.
Yeah, he makes Julie Soup break her fucking hand on Mighty Shell.
Yeah, and I like what she says where she talks about like, are we your friends or your soldiers? Like, can't we just do what we want to do? Like, do we have to just follow what you want it? And he's like, you know what? You're right. Like, I'm sorry. Which I really like. I like that he's just like, well, yeah, I didn't mean it that way, but no, you're right. Like, do whatever you want. It's fine. I don't want you to leave, but I'm not going to force you.
Which is pretty cool. It's cool to see him have like kind of an extra layer of nuance, where it's like, damn, I guess, like,
yeah. No, it's like, it's not like character. I mean, I guess you could maybe see his character development. I wouldn't say so. I think it's within Sonic's character to do this. But like it's always nice when you have a scene that kind of like explores the side of the character. Like, oh, Sonic's initial instinct is to do this, but when push comes to shove, he's willing to put down his ego and be like, no, like, I don't want my friends to feel like I'm trying to like control them or whatever. No, but I still feel this way or that way. And then Sally comes in and she goes, I'm not going to control you, but I'm very good at negotiating.
Yeah. Well, and it just feels very real, where he's like, he jumps in, he tries to stop them, but then, they make an argument. And he's like, oh yeah, I guess you got a point. Like it feels like something like a real person would do, as opposed to like IDW Sonic, where he's like, I love freedom and I am doing the freedom things.
It also helps that he's not actually fighting any of them either. Like, he's just like the worst he does is he like spins around to like make them dizzy so they won't fight.
Yeah,
but he's not like hitting anyone. So he's just really trying to like calm everyone down, basically. But in his Sonic way.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, like you said, Sally shows up and she's like, "Look, we'll send Sonic and Tails ahead. You guys stay here, help us like hold down the fort." Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I especially like this because obviously we're in new version of Sally who like who is like kind of got her shit together. So I really like the moment where she's like, you don't understand, like you weren't there last time, and like obviously last time Julie or Enerjak like murdered Knuckles and then God brought him back to life. And so like I really like the moment where she's like, you don't understand what I'm going through, and she's like, no, I think I understand better than you, obviously, because Sonic died. So like I like the little panel of like her putting her hand on her back or whatever, and also the way she like portrays it is like, look, Enerjak's gonna come to us and like we need help, but I'm gonna send the fastest guy and the smartest guy to go get Knuckles. Is that okay? Like I'm trying to make this work for everybody. So, and it feels really good. So.
And there's a line where she goes like, I understand better than you think, and it's like, yeah, because my boyfriend died too. Like, which is an extra, again, it's an extra layer for people in the know. Yeah, so then we cut to Angel Island where Scourge and Fiona are chilling, but wait, there's a big sky beam, this was well before the era of big sky beams, so Flynn was ahead of his time. And who appears?
I really like the back and forth between Scourge and Fiona, which is that she's like, well, there you go, idiot. Like, it's finally here. And she's like, well, he's like, well, shut up and let me watch it then.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Enerjak appears. Whoa.
And he looks awesome.
He does. He looks really cool. But who is he? Well, I guess we'll find that out later.
Yes.
Because right now it's time for a new venture. La 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 la. Ian, you were supposed to join in. Now I look stupid.
You can't save your life. Whatever they say. I forget. What do they say? You can't.
It's a new venture. La la.
Oops.
Anyway. Point is, they're doing an ad for Sonic Rush Adventure. It's fine. Yeah, it's cool. And the Sonic Tails land on the beach. Marine shows up and is like, "Hey, I'm Marine. Where?" And then there's
their voice.
And then there's a Chaos Emerald. Then Johnny from Sonic Rush Adventure shows up.
Johnny Lightfoot shows up and he's like, "Hey, what's up, Sonic?"
Who's Johnny Lightfoot?
From Sonic the Comic.
Oh no.
It's just a big rabbit.
I will say one thing that's interesting is that Johnny is like never mentioned when people talk about Sonic's rivals. Like there are other and I get like he only showed up the once, but like Marine only showed up once and she's like wormed her way into other Sonic stuff. Whereas this guy, no one ever talks about this guy.
Yeah, the only thing I remember about Johnny is in some Call Me Johnny's review where he goes, "Oh yeah, and then there's this guy named Johnny, and don't trust him. Johnny's an asshole's name."
That's fun. But yeah, there's a couple last things. But yeah, so he's like, "All right, I guess I gotta get that Chaos Emerald from you." Woo. And then they say, "Find out how this ends in Sonic Rush 2 for the DS." It's not
incorrect.
It's not called that. Although this is,
are you stupid, Ian Flynn? I'm sure he didn't put that.
Yeah, he probably didn't write that. I will say this is oddly timely because I'm actually replaying the Rush games currently.
Are they good?
Well, I will say I have not gotten to Sonic Rush 2, as it's aptly called in here yet, but I have played all of Sonic's story and started Blaze's story in Rush 1. It's not the best designed game.
I know there's a lot of problems with like bottomless pits.
Oh god, it's so bad. And like the special stages are just ridiculous and like break the pace, and the bottomless pits and it just, you know. Yeah, but hey, I mean, anyway, so yeah, that's issue 180. Moving on to issue 181. Who is Enerjak? Who do you think it is, Ian?
I hope it's Julie Sue, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, I will say. We'll talk about how piss poor this mystery is when it actually gets revealed. Yeah, so Sonic and Tails, they fly off, and they're monitoring Angel Island through like some drones. And there's a cool bit where they're like, Julie Sue's observing it through a live feed. What do you see in Julie Sue? And she goes, "They're doomed.
They're fucked."
Yeah, so Enerjak shows up and he just like decimates the dingoes. He like sends them to the desert, and then Captain Dingo, or whatever his name is,
Captain Dingo shows up with his Captain Dingo beam.
Sure. And then Knuckles kills him. Wait, now Enerjak kills him. Who's
Enerjak kills him. Whoa.
Yeah, he just fucking kills that guy.
Yeah, and it's kind of awesome. So this whole section is like a back and forth between Sonic getting on the island and being like, "Let's go, find Knuckles." And then we cut to Enerjak, who is just being really, really crazy and doing crazy stuff. And every time they cut back to Enerjak, like you really do feel that sense of like Sonic and Tails are just wasting their time. Like they're never going to find this guy. And like, I don't know about you, but like when you see Enerjak doing stuff, you're like, yeah, no, this guy's really powerful. And the fact that the first thing he does is kill someone is crazy.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. And it's because we cut to Sonic and Tails and they're like, "Oh, please hurry." I think Julie Sue says like, "Please hurry." And Sonic's like, "Hurry is what I do best." And then Tails is like, "Hey, maybe we should joke less and hurry more."
He's like, yeah.
Yeah. Which is fun. But so yeah, and then he goes to the Dark Legion?
Yeah, the Dark Legion.
All right. Is this like a specific sect of them? Do they have
No, these are all who is left, basically.
Yeah. And they're fighting him. And then he gets Remington. He pulls Remington. What happened to Remington?
So during Return to Angel Island, Remington was like, one, he's from the Knuckles comic, he's Knuckles' friend. But then during that, like, he was basically like a slave, and he was like really roughed up. And so he was part of like, people who love Knuckles and were like, he's the Avatar. Then whenever the city got invaded, he was one of the people who got captured and was put in the egg grapes to be killed. So then we all thought like he was dead. So then during this time, they mentioned like, oh, there's a new guy in the Dark Legion who looks like Kregok, who is related to Lian Da. So they're like, is he back? That doesn't make any sense. He's dead. And so then now it's being revealed that that guy was Remington. The reason that is the case is because Remington was originally going to be Enerjak in this arc until the editor said, who the fuck is Remington? Make it Knuckles. So
that's fun.
So that's why like he's just like, Remington, my friend, your entire subplot is going nowhere, so I will help you.
It's also really funny because he literally says, show him the penalty for stealing my birthright.
Yeah, exactly. So
like, I was supposed to be Enerjak.
I was supposed to be. Well, there's actually a part where and I don't know if this is because of this or just a funny little coincidence, but later whenever Finidivus is going over his big plan, or I mean Dr. Evil, he has a part where he's like, oh yes, I took Remington and blah 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 blah, and the text for that is for some reason like Comic Sans or whatever, like it doesn't look like handwritten. So it's like maybe this B story was already done, and it's like, this is how I made him into Enerjak, and they were like, fuck, we didn't do that, so they just changed it.
I hope that's the case. That'd be funny. But yeah, so Enerjak, he goes to the Dark Legion. He's like, hey, y'all are robots, and that's pretty cringe. So you know what? You're not robots anymore. He makes them like full people again.
Yeah. They're like, we liked being part robot, you jerk.
I don't think Remington liked it. He seems pretty
no,
happy.
That's the cool thing is if you look at all the guys, there's like Lian Da who's like, fuck you, and some of them like look really upset. But then actually look at some and they're actually like really relieved. And he says like, anyone who like is grateful, like, I'll send you back to Albion. But everyone else can stay here because fuck you. Which is cool. I really like that not all of the Dark Legion were like, because like that's always been the thing with the Dark Legion, and this comic, or the Knuckles arc, this arc really touches on a lot of that stuff. It's like the Dark Legion originally had like pretty, like I think we read it, some of them just wanted to like have an Xbox and they were told no. So like, so not all these people who like were born into this cult probably want to be here.
Yeah.
So I really like that they show that like not all of them are like brainwashed,
Yeah, but so. Yeah, so like you said, Enerjak is like, yep, let's go to Albion. And then we cut to Dimitri, who's like, what the hell are you people doing? So yeah, and they're like, look, we got it under control. And like Nicole starts like beefing with them. It's fun. And there's a bit with Julie Sue that's really, really nice, where she's like, yeah, the last time Knuckles faced Enerjak, he fucking died. And Enerjak's just wrecking Angel Island. And so the exact lines, so would you please tell those two to pick up the pace?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Dimitri's like, she told me to fuck off. Oh, fine. Maybe I will fuck off.
I'll fuck right off, but I'll do it because I wanted to, not because you told me to.
Yeah.
But no, he's basically just mad because he's like, hey guys, why don't we just like use our infinite robot powers to like make a giant fuck off laser and kill him? And they're like, I will do no such things. We will believe in Sonic and friends, and I'm not making a big giant gun. And he's like, well, that's lame. I'm leaving.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Nicole says something effective like, I will not dedicate any of the city's nanites to a weapon, which is makes more sense for her because it's literally like her. The city is her than it does for like Rotor, who's like, I don't like guns.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it also just feels like it's an extension of her character of like wanting to be like alive and all those types of things. And yeah, I mean, a lot of like what happens in the story is based on like the characters just being very naive of like that they can handle this because they like Julie Sue says, you didn't deal with Enerjak. Like,
yeah,
this is a way bigger a deal than you think. And Dimitri is also like, yeah, no, I am leaving. I'm gonna go get someone else to help.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, it just wouldn't have worked. So.
Yeah. Well, there's one point where Sonic says something effective like, Chaos God will be home by dinner, or something. So
they're trying to stay optimistic. Which, by the way, I really like that because obviously we know that Sonic does take this seriously because he is the one who was telling Eggman to take it seriously. So I like that a part of that is him trying to like kind of soften the blow for Tails.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just something I really like about Sonic in Preboot, which is that you notice like every scene he's in, he has like not contradictions, but you see different sides of him. Of like, in this scene, he's trying to like comfort Tails. In this scene, he's being jokey, but then he realizes like, okay, sorry, I gotta get serious. In this scene, he's being really serious. In this scene, he's like stepping it up. In this scene, he's letting his ego get a hold of him. Like, he's just constantly like reacting to what's going on. It's just really compelling.
Yeah. Well, and also like there is definitely a part of him that's like high on his own ego, but also you can tell like part of it's a front. Like he's not always just going around going like, I'm the coolest guy ever. Like,
yeah, the part that's a front is that he thinks that like everything's gonna be completely okay. The part that's not a front is he does actually want to fight him.
yes,
and thinks he can do it, you know.
But we actually follow up on a plot thread from a earlier story where Eggman said something to the effect of like, hey, you can't call anyone, no one will come to your aid. And so Sally's frantically like trying to call everyone, and no one's picking up. And she finally gets a signal through to GUN, and she's like, hey, send anyone, send someone, please. And there's a really fun bit with Nicole. I really like the art where she's got like these digital like black things floating around her when she tries to strengthen the signal. But Rouge is like, yeah, we'll send our newest agent, don't worry. But I do think that's pretty funny in context, because obviously we know who the agent is. But imagine being like, yeah, we'll send one guy. Our big military force will send one guy to help you fight this.
And they're like, oh, fuck, please don't let it be Shadow.
Yeah, so then we cut to the Master Emerald Chamber. And Sonic's like, he's not here. Which, like, for Archie Knuckles isn't that uncommon. But, like, he should be here this time, at least. And Dr. Evil's just, like, hiding in a corner.
Yeah, I really like that. Like, he could have teleported out of the room or hidden anywhere else. But he's like, they won't find me. I hid this spot very well.
Yeah, and then Enerjak he's with the mushroom people. I don't know what sect of echidnas these are. But
this is like Knuckles' mom and baby brother and stepdad. So,
oh, is that Kneecaps?
Yeah, that's his mom and his baby brother.
Oh.
So these are like the remainders of like the normal echidnas who are like trying to live their life.
Yeah,
and he's like, good news, I'm gonna teleport you away, and they're like, we're gonna die.
So wait, are you telling me that Knuckles killed his mom?
No, but he tried, and you know, if he had succeeded, then all this entire joke would have went somewhere. But unfortunately, Ian Flynn, he always conspires against me.
Oh, but yeah, so he teleports them away, and Sonic and Tails get there, and then Enerjak fucks off before Sonic can spin dash him.
Well, I do like the part where he grabs the little camera and he's like, you were foolish to spy on me. And then he crushes it and it hurts Nicole. And she's like, "Fa! He's coming." No.
Yeah.
It's really scary. I really like it.
Yeah. I mean, they do a very good job building up like the threat of Enerjak in this.
Yeah. And also like I like Sonic, where again, he has a little moment of just being like just an asshole where he's like, oh shit, he got away. I hate looking slow.
Yeah.
It's like, Sonic, not the time.
Yeah, it's not. Also, Angel Island. I guess this is consistent throughout the book. Angel Island is really close to Mobitropolis.
Well, they mentioned that. Dimitri said, hey, did you notice that the island is coming towards the village? Because remember, Angel Island is floating around the planet.
Yes.
So Knuckles did that on purpose.
That's really funny.
Yeah, because I think he's like, did you guys not notice that the island is coming right for us? Like we're doomed. Yeah.
But then there's a funny bit where everyone's like mobilizing, civilians are finding cover, the freedom fighters and the Chaotix are like getting into position. And Nicole's like, everyone stay calm. The city's force field will definitely protect us. And Enerjak just like goes like, just, like lifts it up like it's a sheet on a bed and just goes under it.
That's the perfect way to describe it, like a sheet on a bed.
Yeah, it's great. Like he just fucking flexes on that force field.
And he goes, hello, my friends.
Yeah. So he comes in there and Julius Sue's like, all right, well, you killed my boyfriend, so it's time to die.
So it's time to kill you with a gun.
Yeah, with a gun. And she's like, I don't care if you destroy. I don't care. Like, I don't care what you do to me, but I'm gonna make you pay for destroying him. And he goes, due to you, I would never hurt you, my love, and I can't very well destroy myself. Because he takes off the helmet and reveals
it's Charmy. The brain damage got to him.
Oh no, Ian.
But no, it's Knuckles. Whoa, crazy.
Yeah. Which I gotta say, not much of a reveal. What were they thinking?
I will say, so you and I obviously both know that Archie is crazy. But imagine like you go to IDW and there's like, you know, some guy in a like guy who's like got like spikes or whatever, and they're killing people, and you're like, evil son. No, Sega wouldn't do that. Like, it is kind of crazy what Knuckles does. So I could imagine just like normal people picking this up and being like, oh, there's other echidnas, so I guess like maybe this is some other echidna, which I mean it was supposed to be. And then it's just like, Knuckles killed somebody. He did all this crazy shit. What the fuck's going on? So I think it works. I mean, it definitely works narratively. And it also works just like, regardless, even if you know it's good to just kind of keep you in suspense with the audience of like, oh, this is getting really crazy. But I do think the twist would work on some people because it's just great. Like, when you really think about what is happening, Knuckles is evil and he is like doing things and he's corrupted and consumed or whatever. That just doesn't sound like anything Sega would allow, you know, and he killed somebody on screen. So
he did do that. I guess my big thing is like, they clearly set it up as like a mystery. Like, if it was just like Enerjak is here and they weren't trying to set it up as a mystery, then it might be a bit more impactful. But the cover of this issue is literally like, who is Enerjak? It's like, well, there's no suspect. There's one suspect. Like, and you keep talking about how Knuckles, you can't find Knuckles. Like, it's probably Knuckles.
It's probably Knuckles. Yeah, but I think what they want you to then ask is like, Knuckles? Oh, why? What? How? You know? So regardless, but I do agree. I mean, it is definitely very funny if like, even for a second, I would like to meet the people who were like, who is this? And also, where's Knuckles?
Yeah. Although, actually, I guess funny story. I read the Silver Saga before I read this, so I didn't know that Enerjak was Knuckles. When I read that, at least.
There you go.
So that's fun. But yeah. So how did this happen? Well, let's find out. Let's find out. Because who do we see but Archimedes?
Samuel L. Jackson.
I'm trying to think of any line that Archimedes would say so I can add a motherfucker to it. None of them are coming to me.
Him being like, he's just like, and then the trap was sprung on the motherfucker.
Yes! That's perfect. But yeah, so Archimedes is just like hiding. He's like, God damn it, I suck. And then, yeah, so basically what happened was Knuckles went back to Angel Island and immediately got jumped by the Destructix. And they brought him to the Emerald Chamber. And basically, cutting to the chase, okay, so what does Leon Da think the plan was? Because Finetivis's plan was always, hey, I put a curse on the Master Emerald. Knuckles is gonna try to absorb power from the Master Emerald because something's happening.
Basically, he told him, hey, 90% of all the echidnas are fucking dead. Which includes like our homeland of Albion. And so he's just like, and also like, obviously there's a lot of bad stuff happening with, you know, Locke not being around in like the Dark Legion. So basically him being like, hey, a bunch of our people got murdered by Eggman and you didn't do anything to do it. And he's like, fuck, I gotta be green again.
Yep. But yeah, so he tries to be green again, but it turns out that Finetivis put a curse on the Master Emerald. So when he tries to absorb the power, he becomes Enerjak.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is also within the context of he told his dad like, no, like you're gonna watch the Master Emerald. I'm gonna protect the world from here. And then he comes back and he's like, yeah, while you were gone, like trying to be like a cool hero, every bad thing ever happened, and I totally didn't do it. So because he's not lying. 90% of his people did get wiped out because because he was God. So
yes. So I guess Leon Da just thinks they're there to like come up with a plan.
Yeah, they're there to. I think she says they're there to team up to do something against Eggman. Basically, like let's bring all the echidnas together. We got to stop this once and for all. Basically.
Yeah, but they didn't think like, Knuckles was gonna leap onto the Master Emerald.
Yeah.
Also, I will say, Leon Da is drawn very
hot. I agree.
You said it.
Tits out, so it was good. But yeah, no, I mean, also the reason she's there is he says that Leon Da and Remington were like second place if Knuckles didn't show up, basically. So like, you know, because you got to also remember this happens before he even turns into Enerjak fully, because you have like the full day where like Scourge is watching over things and he's like, oh yeah, like the Dark Legion might attack soon because they know about your crazy scheme you're doing with Knuckles. So this happens like a few days before. So the idea is basically like, yeah, they were all gathering, they're trying to figure things out, he's trying to keep all of them in control. Knuckles happens to show up just in time, which he was already waiting for him anyway, so this is just perfect timing. And then he's like, perfect, we're all here, Knuckles, yeah, go do something about it. And then there you go. So if Knuckles hadn't come tonight, he would have been like, hey, we're all going to work together. Let's, plan things out. And then he just would have waited till Knuckles showed up and done something. If Knuckles didn't do anything, then he would have been like, hey, guys, let's give you all the power. And then they would have became Enerjak as well. So,
gotcha.
So basically, he just had a bunch of extra pieces on his board to use.
Fair enough. But yeah, so that's interesting. I guess I didn't think about that. But yeah, Knuckles was just kind of down here like cooking for a while.
Yes.
Like the hot pocket of destiny he is.
Like the hot pocket of destiny.
But yeah, and basically we find out Archimedes was there the whole time. He didn't do shit about it.
Yeah, which I really like. So in the Knuckles comic, one of the big things is always that Knuckles is the people who are supposed to protect Knuckles don't step in to do anything. Like especially Locke, obviously. And so like I really like the idea that he says because he says oh, I was outnumbered. But then he adds, and I needed to know what was going on. But it's like you couldn't have saved Knuckles and then done something. But he's like, no, I gotta watch. I gotta see where they're going, what's going on, And then I really like that it's like once again the people who are supposed to be Knuckles' guardians and his caretakers, they're too invested in the bigger picture to help him, and it's too late.
Yeah, it's pretty good. This is drawn by Butler, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but throughout the pages, the paneling gets wobbly and wobblier. So that's pretty cool.
That is cool. But yeah, but then we get into Sonic the Hedgehog number 182. Ooh, Fallen Angel.
It's a very cool title.
It's a very cool title. But yeah, so Knuckles is like, hey, everyone, this is cool, right? Look at my helmet. It'd be amazing if he was actually like.
I even learned to talk good. I said my love. I would never say that. It's pretty good. I'm a smart boy.
But yeah, so basically, he's like, hey, we haven't mentioned this. Basically, Enerjak's whole thing is like, I'm ridding the world of technology. Which was that Finetibus's plan?
No, so this is what's really interesting. So Finetibus's plan is Knuckles will blow up and kill everybody. But if you noticed, Knuckles' plan is I'm going to rule the world. I'm going to protect all my friends, and I'm going to rid the world of technology, which is nothing that Finetibus wants. He also didn't kill all the dingoes, except for the one guy. He helped the Dark Legion, which also Finetibus doesn't want. So what's cool here is that Knuckles is he's brainwashed to be I'm this God complex, right? But the stuff he's doing is all things that he was taught and raised to do as a guardian. So basically, this is all of who Knuckles is, plus being Enerjak, plus all the things that his family taught him. Because his family taught him the Dark Legion are bad, and also technology is really bad. You have the thing of he really cares about his friends, obviously. And then also you have the idea of being a guardian means you got to make tough choices. You got to choose what you're going to do. So what's really cool is it's an amalgamation of all the terrible things that has happened in Knuckles' life turned into this monster. Because again, when we get to Finetibus just says, oh yeah, I just want to kill everyone. That's my plan. So, so this was not on the agenda.
Yeah, I like the idea that Finetibus, because he's so fucking evil. He's like, everyone wants to kill everyone, right? They always need a little push. So if I just curse the Master Emerald, and he's like, what is going on? Why is Knuckles not killing everyone yet?
What's taking so long?
But also, you bring up an interesting point. It's something they bring up in the comic. There's a great bit later on, which we'll get to, where Archimedes is talking to Locke. And he's like, no, we created a monster. This is our fault.
It was our training and what you did to his body and all. Because again, Knuckles can only become this because Locke microwaved him as a baby and turned him into the most powerful creature imaginable. So
wait, so I guess the question then becomes, how would Leon Da or Remington have become Enerjak?
Everyone has a connection to the Chaos Force. This is established. The Guardians just have more of it, but also the Dark Legion, they are also descendants of Dimitri and all that stuff. So they also can control chaos energy. Because Dimitri, for example, when he was Enerjak, that was just because he was bathed in chaos energy, and then he came out 100,000 years or whatever later once he could control it. So his plan was basically, yeah, you'll tap into the Master Emerald, because you should have a connection to the Chaos Force. But then you'll turn into Enerjak. Knuckles has the strongest one, so he is Omega God.
Yeah, so he's the best Enerjak.
Yeah, he's the best one we want to use, basically. Locke can, because we also know Locke can control the Chaos Emerald. Obviously, Finetibus can, because he can put hexes on it. So anyone can tap into the Master Emerald. Scourge tapped into the Master Emerald, but Finetibus has put a curse on it so that he can then basically turn you into Enerjak.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but Knuckles is the best.
Gotcha. But so basically that whole thing was the point. So Knuckles' whole thing is I want to get rid of technology. And then Nicole's like, please don't kill me. Like,
please don't kill me.
Well, and that's the funny thing, right? Is that like Knuckles doesn't really have a good counter argument for that. He's like, no, you just will kill me if you get rid of all technology. He's like, well, sucks to suck, nerd.
Yeah, and also, Julie Sue, I know like being part robot is like literally in like part of your body. But fuck you, you'd look hotter if all flesh. So he like goes to take her, and like he basically is gonna like take apart like her body and like make her like fleshy and normal or whatever. Which is really, really fucked up and bad. So yeah, it's really scary. Like
yeah,
Knuckles,
a little bit.
Like Knuckles is completely like, again, Knuckles would never obviously harm anyone, like he said, but now he's in this like God mode thing where like all his inhibitions and all the things that like his conscience are basically gone. You know, you're gonna do what he says. So
yeah,
and it's really disturbing and bad. So
a little bit, but so yeah, then Sonic jumps in and saves Julie Sue, but he's not the only one who shows up.
Because Silver arrives.
Don't play with my heart, Ian.
He's soon.
He is soon.
But no, I really love Sonic coming in while like Sonic is kind of perfect throughout this whole arc, but this one he's just so funny because he's just being a shit talker to everybody, and like he's fighting like God, but then like he's just like whatever you want to say, Enerjak, nerd. Like,
yeah.
But then Shadow shows up.
Yeah, Shadow's here. But my favorite bit is he keeps coming up with all these different nicknames for Enerjak. Enerjak just grabs him with cast energy and goes, "Are you finished?" And he goes, "Actually, Jumping Jack, Enter Tube, Flapjack, Interstate, Enerjak in the box. And come to think of it, Enerjak sounds like some kind of sports drink. Okay, now I'm finished."
And he gets thrown through a wall. Like I love that. Like that's such good comedic timing. Like because you read it's like now I'm done, and then you read the next panel and it's Shadow like in books because he got thrown earlier, and Sonic just slams into a wall.
Yeah, it's
super funny. I also love Shadow comes in and he hits Enerjak, and Enerjak goes like ugh, and then he goes nice job, Faker. All I got out of him was an urn.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, and then there's an awesome sequence where Shadow takes off his inhibitor rings and does like a chaos blast. And like,
and then we cut to Sally and them. They're like, "Fuck you, Shadow! You're gonna kill everybody."
Oh yeah, I don't know about you, but like when this is going on, I literally like in my head was hearing like the music from Shadow the Hedgehog, when he does the Chaos Blast.
Oh yeah, Chaos Blast! And I love that the panel gets all sketchy.
Yeah, it's such a well done sequence. And then we cut to but yeah, so then I guess Enerjak's dead. I don't know because we cut away to Eggman. Is like, hey, Snively, get the egg grapes ready. I'm gonna go get us a new battery. So yeah, that's something. But we cut back, and I only just now noticed this awesome fucking panel of Shadow with glowing red eyes fighting Enerjak.
Yeah, he's on the monitor, and Eggman's like, now, Shadow, that's my city to destroy.
Yeah, it's yeah. Well, I'm talking about on the bottom of the page where he's like swiping his scarf around him. I've literally never noticed, like, I've never acknowledged this panel. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah. Well, also, like, the lighting in that scene is really cool, where it's, like, Snively, and he's, like, fixing up the thing, and it's, like, giant. It looks really good.
Yeah, it's nice. So, basically, Shadow gets his shit kicked in, and so Sonic's like, all right, I'm going to help, and so he knocks Enerjak's helmet off.
No. You got to say the line correctly. He says, all right, Ultimate Light Show. We're all very impressed.
He does say that.
Which is an incredible line.
It's a really good line.
Ultimate Light Show. I love that. I need that to be in a Sonic game at some point.
That sounds... I can imagine Ben Schwartz's Sonic saying that.
All right, Ultimate Light Show.
That's not Ben Schwartz.
I know, that's Roger, and it would be really bad.
I really hope in Sonic X Shadow Generations, when Sonic shows up in the Shadow portion, he's doing his like deep Frontiers voice, and they just don't acknowledge it. Like
that's what I know. They said something about like they were going to change some of the cutscenes, like give maybe like new like angles or whatever. But I think the funniest thing would be if they just told Roger to redo all his lines. So now he's just like, enjoy your future, Sonic. It's going to be a blast.
I will say I liked his Frontiers direction, but my theory about that direction being because that game was about like the concept of like growing older and looking back on life completely goes out the window if they have him do that voice in that game.
Well, anyway,
but yeah, so Sonic knocks Enerjak's helmet off, and oh no, it's Knuckles. And so they're like, all right, everyone, I guess bum rush him.
Shout out, by the way, shout out to the one guy who got to Enerjak faster than Sonic.
Yeah, look at that guy.
That guy was like, you know what? That was my house that Shadow blew up, and I can't punch him. So
is that? It looks kind of like Ray. I don't think it's
I don't
Ray.
know who it is, but it's very funny. I just love that there's some guy who's like, I have the most beef with Enerjak.
Yeah, it's some yellow fella. But yeah. So basically, yeah. So he freezes everyone with chaos energy. He's like, "You all suck," and I'm gonna. Oh, what is the line? He says he has a cool line. He says, "As my benefactor, Dr. Frenevis, has shown me, this world must be purged with fire." So that's pretty dope. He is like, he's just like he says like, I was gonna spare you all, but, and then Sonic like interrupts his villainous monologue where he goes like, "This is, what are you doing, Knuckles? This is stupid." Yeah, and then the Egg Fleet shows up and they take him. They snatch the boy.
Yeah, and I really love it because like this is just so like Archie Eggman. He comes in, he like teleports Enerjak away, and he's like, "Hey losers, I saved your life. I could kill you all right now, but I want to kill you with a really big beam. Fuck you, bye."
Yeah.
and then Sonic's like, "Well, he didn't technically betray us, I guess."
Yeah. But they're like, "All right, well, I guess we need to figure out how to rescue Knuckles." And Sally's like, I mean, he did just try to kill us all. So maybe we shouldn't."
And I do appreciate that she's not like, no return. She's just like, it's like, because she's like, well, he's not Enerjak. She's like, he is and he isn't. All right, we got to figure this out, okay? Like, we can't just go in there.
And then Antoine tries to speak, but then the book
is one line in the entire arc.
Yeah, but then Sonic and Julie Sue get yoinked through a ring portal by Locke, who's like, "All right, look, we got to deal with this." And Sonic's like, "See, Julie Sue, we're gonna deal with this. We're gonna save Knuckles." And Locke's like, "No, we're gonna kill Knuckles." So that's fun. But
Sonic, I thought your whole thing was you hated my son. I thought you'd be all on board.
Yeah. Locke hasn't read the book in like 100 issues.
He's a little behind.
But so
he's like, where's Ken?
Where's Ken? Aren't I supposed to die of a prolapsed anus or something?
Well, he's like, "No, we fixed that for you." "Oh, cool. I get to live?" And they just keep walking.
Oh no! It was such a it doesn't matter. Point is, Albion's shameful secret. There's some random echidna lady who's like, "Hey, Frenevis is a dickhead. Here's his backstory." And what is his backstory, Ian?
Yeah, so I want to clarify then. So this lady, she's actually pretty important because when Knuckles turned green, this lady was like, Knuckles has turned green. He's got a lot of power. Do we A, help him and try to guide him? B, kill him? And they went with B. So this lady is the one who was like, "Yeah, we're gonna kill Knuckles, and God bless your soul." And so, or may Aurora have mercy on your soul. That's what she says. And then Knuckles survived. So basically, what happened is that, and this is from Albion. This is like the where the echidnas were born, where they all came from, and then they spread out and one ran around the world. But they're still like their homeland, basically. So what we find out through this like little kind of like message is that basically she's hidden under a bunker, and she's like, "Yeah. Back during like the 100s issues when we tried to murder Knuckles, there was a background character who was like, yeah, I'm in this giant suit and I'm going to absorb all this chaos energy. Nothing can go wrong." And then Knuckles was like, and then he killed that guy. But it turns out that guy didn't die. And by the way, all this did actually happen in those old issues. That guy didn't die. And now he has turned into Dr. Frenevis. He is basically a counterpart to Knuckles. People thought like maybe he's the anti-Avatar, which I don't believe or whatever, which is what she says. But basically the idea is like, oh, Knuckles is like the creation who was made to save the world, and we tried to kill him, and in doing so, in our own hubris, we created a being out of chaos that was made to destroy the world. And now we're fucked. He told Eggman where we live, got rid of all our defensive systems. We tried to euthanize him, even though he was just building portal rings, so that might have been fucked up on our part. And then now we all die, and then we watch her final moments as she says, "I am sorry." It's really, really messed up.
It's pretty messed up. They also do literally use the word euthanasia. Yeah, they have the vote that called for euthanasia, which that's a unusual word for a Sonic comic, but
Yeah, well, and again, it kind of paints an interesting picture, right? Because again, this is the same lady who was like, Knuckles is overwhelming with power. Should we help him? No, let's kill him. So this guy, Finidivus, regardless of if he was, because she's like, oh, he wanted like violent changes to the world or whatever. Well, even if he's just saying like the world needs to change and blah, 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 her first, usually your reaction is like, okay, let's arrest him. Let's talk to him. Her thing was, and they specifically, it's like euthanasia. We were going to like kill him in his sleep or like capture him and like poison him or something. Like, so like, it really shows like, yeah, like Finidivus is fucked up, but like these people who did this to him are the same people who tried to do this to Knuckles, and they have kind of created their worst nightmare. Everything that they believed that Knuckles would become, they have made that a reality because they feared Knuckles and because they made Finidivus. So it's crazy. It's really good.
Yeah. So a couple things. First of all, Eggman has Zeppelins, I guess.
Yes, those are the same ones he uses during Return to Angel Island when they're talking about like, oh yeah, like during Return to Angel Island we were attacked and you can like see the Zeppelins or whatever, which is pretty cool.
That's fun. Second of all, we've been calling him Dr. Evil this whole time. I didn't realize he was literally the Antichrist.
Yeah, he is the Antichrist.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Like it's really like it's just really smart and clever how Flynn uses all these things. Because again, during that issue, there is a guy who has a suit, and he's like, we're gonna absorb all the power into the suit on my body, and then Knuckles overwhelms him and he falls to the ground, and they're like, that guy's basically dead or whatever. But it's like, no, it like consumed him, it changed him, or whatever. Which is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Like it's just like the Enerjak arc really is kind of like, Flynn's always like bringing things back and recontextualizing it. But like this is what I talk about when I say like Flynn can do way better in IDW or Reboot, where it's just like, no, like this guy, when he's like connecting all these dots, he's making like a compelling narrative about like generational trauma. He's talking about like how like people who don't trust each other, how they like create the things that they're trying to destroy, how fear corrupts and all that stuff. And it's just like, he's not just like calling back and saying like, oh, look, this is like the lady you saw from the old issue. It's like, no, she's saying like, I messed up. I'm sorry. I apologize. But the story is now like consumed her and she's dead now. It's a final really chilling send off for this character. And it's awesome. It's really cool.
It is.
And again, everything serves to make Knuckles being this way even more and more like corrupt and sick,
Certainly. And then we find out this whole thing was being watched by, this is a hologram being watched by Locke, who's then like, fuck, I guess I shouldn't have let him watch the Master Emerald. But
no, instead his first thought is, well, time to kill my son. I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah.
Yep. But so yeah, so that issue ends. He's like, well, Remington, take care of everyone, because things are getting rough. But then we get to Archie Hedgehog number 183, where I will say this cover's fucking dope.
Yeah.
It's just a blank white background with Enerjak holding stock. It's gonna make this very easy to Photoshop out for the thumbnail, thankfully. But yeah, it's cool. And so yeah, we cut it into the book, and he goes. So Locke and Julius, who are arguing about like killing Knuckles, is basically like, look, we got to do it. And Julius is like, you want to kill him? And Locke starts to go, the weapon is a perfectly humane way to. And I wrote my notes. The weapon is a perfectly humane way to kill my son.
Yeah. No, it's great. Yeah, I do appreciate that he's offended. Like, no, dude, like he has to die, but I'm not like a jerk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. He says like he's no longer Knuckles, he's Enerjak. And I made this weapon to kill Enerjak, so we gotta kill Enerjak. Yeah. So he's like, and then Sonic's like, Julius is like, absolutely not, under no circumstances. And Sonic's like, I kind of want to see this weapon though.
Yeah.
He's like, maybe I do want to kill Knuckles. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so they go through the portal, but who is there but the Destructix waiting for them?
Yes.
And then we get to Dr. Eggman, and there's an amazing scene where he's like, dude, I got this. I got Enerjak in the egg grapes. It's super cool. And then Dimitri shows up. Snively's like carrying Dimitri in. And Eggman goes, Snively, what is that?
What is that? No, it's really good.
Yeah, but so then he's like, hey, look, we need to kill Enerjak, and the other guys won't kill Enerjak. He's like, don't you see? I got Enerjak. We don't need to worry about Enerjak. And then what I love is in the background, there's a chart that's called energy output that just spikes upward. And then Enerjak just nukes the whole fucking city. It's awesome. It looks so cool. Like, that's the thing, audience. I said at the top of this, that's like, I'm tired of like the sky exploding and the world ending and the status quo shifting every arc. But like, that doesn't change the fact that this is still fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Eggman goes to his bunker with everyone. And we get back to the gang. They're fighting the Destructics. And they're kind of getting their asses kicked because they're outnumbered. But then who should show up to their rescue but good old Jiminy Cricket himself?
Good old Samuel L. Jackson. And he says, "Get in the base, motherfucker."
Why is that? That's not what Samuel L. Jackson sounds like. But so they go into the base, and we have the exchange that we talked about earlier, where he's like, "We can't kill Knuckles." Like, there's a great bit where he goes, "We put the weight of the world on Knuckles' shoulders and told him to bear it." He's basically like, "Where?" He goes, "We're as guilty for creating Enerjak as Dr. Finitevis."
Yeah, if not more.
Yeah. And then, we need to find the weapon. And Sonic's like, "I got the weapon." Because, y'all were gabbing about, like, your personal responsibility or some shit. And the Destructics bust in. They're like, "Oh, hey, we can't let you use that weapon on Enerjak." And Sonic's like, "Oh, okay." He fucking breaks it.
It's great.
And they're like, "Oh, well, okay. I guess we're done here."
Yeah, I guess we're fired.
Yeah, well, that's the great bit. Is like Sonic goes, "I hope you guys weren't charging for overtime."
Yeah.
I love this moment for Sonic. It's such a great bit where he's like, "No, we're not killing Knuckles. I got a plan. I'm doing this my way." I think he even says something to that effect. Because Locke is like, "Are you insane? You've doomed us all."
Well, I also love he's like, "Well, one, that wasn't my plan. Also, like, he's your kid, so I don't know what your fucking deal is."
Yeah. Back to Enerjak, who's just wrecking New Megapolis. And there's a great bit where there's these like badniks. We're like, "Go, Eggman, go, Badnik Horde, and vanquish all in the name of the Eggman Empire." And then the next panel, it's just them getting vaporized.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then Snively points out that they lost 99.9% of everything.
Yeah, it's great. And then, so he calls in the Egg Fleet, and then he just destroys the Egg Fleet. And he's like, "I guess we'll go to the bunker now."
Yeah, well, I love Eggman's line where he's like, "There won't be enough of Enerjak to put him in a petri dish."
Yeah.
He just murders him. Which, by the way, so I think it's really cool though, because this will be like a long-term thing. But like the reason, he didn't have the time to kill off the heroes, right? Is that he's like, "I'm gonna capture Enerjak, and then I'm gonna like control God and like use all his energy." So once again, like Eggman's like, he's like, "I gotta go big, I gotta like make a spectacle," and then that has now ruined him basically. Like he lost all his shit, because he did this.
Yeah, it's funny. This is kind of like the structure of a Sonic game. Like Eggman tries to control some like Eldritch being beyond his recognition, and then it backfires. Then you have to go Super Sonic to beat it at the end, like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, it's fun. But yeah, so he's like, but Knuckles is like, "Oh, geez, destroying New Megapolis took a lot out of me, so I got to go recharge."
Also, I do appreciate the egg grapes did drain him like really bad.
Yes.
So I do like that egg because he says like, "Oh wow, like I didn't like I actually took a lot more energy from the egg grapes than I thought I would." So I do like that Eggman did do something, which now gives us this chance to save the day. So the arc's really good about like everything kind of coming together.
Yeah, of course. But so then Knuckles goes back and he's like, "Finitevis, I need you to give me more power so I can finish my work." And he goes, "Yeah, your work, of course," which is fun. And then he starts to do the thing. And what's interesting is that Finitevis has his own like evil version of the famous like Emerald chant. His version goes, "The servants are the 7 chaos. Chaos is power enriched by my will." Which is awesome. Cool. But yeah, so then Sonic shows up. He knocks the wind out of Finitevis. And he hops up on the Master Emerald. And okay, maybe I'm missing. So if he goes up, he's like, "All right, I'm gonna do what I did to Perfect Chaos." Then he turns to Super Sonic. He goes, "I'm gonna beat the evil out of you," which is a cool line. But then Finitevis goes, "This may be just what I need." What?
He's hoping that Sonic and Enerjak's, he says this next issue, he hopes that Sonic and Enerjak's fight, that they'll just like destroy the world basically. So he's like, "Oh, 2 like gods are gonna fight each other? Fuck yeah, like that." And also like Enerjak is gonna win, which he would have. So the idea is just like, "Oh, this will actually work really well. Like this will like kick Enerjak into high gear. He's gonna kill Sonic. Sonic's gonna help destroy everything. Perfect,
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But then we cut to ashes and dust.
Well, so one last thing for that, I do like the logic here, which is that, so in the original Sonic Adventure, the idea is that we use the positive energy of the emeralds, and we're going to use that to like break Chaos's negative energy so we can revert him to normal, right? And so in a way, you are beating the evil out of him. But obviously in the context of adventure, in that game, like Sonic is really genuinely coming at it from a place of like empathy and like wanting to help Perfect Chaos, because Sonic is like a force for good. But in Archie, when he fights Perfect Chaos, if you remember, he says like, if it's my dead carcass or yours.
I
like,
love that line.
So I like that this is a combo of two things, which is that in that adaptation, they did say like, oh, we're going to use the positive energy of the emeralds. So I like that in Sonic's mind, he's remembering when he did that. And it's like, yes, the way I did that was I beat the shit out of Perfect Chaos.
Yep.
So it still like is in Archie Sonic's character of like, he's not coming at this of like, oh, I have this like, this understanding of like good and evil or whatever. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna use positive energy to punch your negative energy. Get over here, motherfucker.
So then we cut to hours earlier where Scourge is basically like, look, man, you keep talking about how you want to kill everyone. So I'm just charging up my warp ring in case I need to get the fuck out of Dodge. And he literally says like, he's like, because he asked like, what are you doing with Master Emerald? He's like, oh, I'm just charging up my warp ring in case your Enerjak plan goes south. I mean, if his Enerjak plan goes north, everyone dies. So,
True.
I guess that's the question. Is Finitevis's whole plan really just I want to kill everyone? Like,
yeah, because he believes like it's a great cleansing, and then what will like rise from the ashes will be like a pure good society, basically, that he can like guide.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he says like in the thing, he's like, oh yeah, like this will be destroyed, that'll be destroyed, and then from the ashes will be like a pure world, cleansed in emerald fire, basically. Because again, the Avatar's supposed to save the world, so Finitevis is like, no, the world's corrupt, it needs to be destroyed, and we can start anew.
So it's like a biblical flood type situation.
Yeah, and also Knuckles would still be alive, so like Knuckles would be kind of like the start of like a new generation of like the Echidnas and all that kind of stuff. So,
Gotcha. But yeah, so he's like, so what? There's actually a great bit where so basically Scourge is like, okay, so what the fuck is this all about exactly?
Yeah, I didn't read the Knuckles comic.
Yeah, well, he basically goes like, so you don't have to read the Knuckles comic. He's like, okay, look, so there's all this crazy shit, the Dark Legion and the other Echidnas are fighting each other, and people got banished to the Twilight Zone, and
he literally is like, it was bad, it was bullshit.
Well, my favorite line is, countless Echidna families would have their lives affected by this blood feud. The squabbling had crossed time and space, growing more convoluted with each generation. And
then he says like all of this and it accomplished nothing.
Yep, it's pretty good. Yeah, so he's like, the Dark Legion sucks, the Guardians suck. And Scourge's like, wait, I thought you were the Dark Legion. He's like, no, I just used the Dark Legion to get what I wanted, but now I have what I want. So like they all suck. And he tossed like a bunch of people into the Twilight Cage. Bad shit.
Those are all of the Guardians.
Okay.
Yeah, because remember that Knuckles...
Not Knuckles' grandpas!
Yeah, those are all of Knuckles' grandpas. Because remember, he was like, oh yeah, they all fought in a great battle in the, back during Return to Angel Island. And then he's like, oh, we gotta find my grandpas. But yeah, no, basically, he captured all of them, did like experiments on them, and then tossed them into hell, basically.
Yeah. Also, I'm seeing this panel now you're talking about. He says, I planned on using one of Dimitri's descendants for Enerjak. Leon died to the drive. It was hard to control, so I rescued Remington from Dr. Eggman and began to mold him. So, I guess maybe that was like, I began to mold him, but like then Knuckles came along, like he's better anyway.
Then the editor came along.
Yeah. Then Scourge literally says, but you're using Knuckles, and why go the trouble bringing it? It was like, found Knuckles had the strongest link to the Chaos Force. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, so he's like, look, I'm going to cleanse the world. It's going to be super cool. Yeah, he has the line, all will be cleansed in a wave of emerald fire, which is such a dope line.
Yeah, it's really good.
And I really love this image of Scourge. Like the lighting on him, like the shading is really good.
Oh yeah, there's also like a page where it's Finitevis's cape, and the cape is used to like show the flashback like within it.
Yeah. That's
also, there's a great image of like all the Echidna characters. Yeah. It's like, wow, there really is a lot of these people.
Yeah, hats off to comic writers. Like all comic artists. Like they are fucking. Like, look at all this shit. Look at all this shit they had to draw, like, on every page. Like, you don't think about it when you're reading it, but, like, fuck, man. That's a lot of work. So,
and then you have, like, the colorists and the inkers.
Yeah, man. It's insane. But yeah, so that's issue 183. And then I think we finish it off with 184.
Yep. Last
all
one.
right. Oh, no. Well, because they do a whole thing. We'll get there. Anyway, Archie Sonic the Hedgehog number 184.
If you want, we could do the B story, because the B story is like an epilogue, but it's not as climactic as like the main story. But like everything that like they talk about in the B story, like is happening simultaneously. So
yeah, well, there's in the trade paperback, which I'll just grab now. There's like an extra bit where Knuckles is like, "Man, everything sucks," and it basically, it picks up right after the end of this, but it's not in the actual issue.
Yeah, that's from a later issue. They just shoved that into the collection, I guess.
So should we talk about that now, or should we talk about that when it comes up?
Let's talk about it when it comes up.
Okay. Well, yeah. So Archie Sonic the Hedgehog number 184. Cool cover. I like this cover. It's got a cool fake out because it looks like it's Knuckles on the Master Emerald, but maybe it's not Knuckles on the Master Emerald.
Well, it's also cool because you have the beam of light, and then it's like Knuckles or it's Lock Infinitivus on both sides. So it's like they're both responsible for this, like visually.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't think about that. Also, this issue is called Chaos Angel. Are they all Angel? Are they all something Angel? Because one of them is Fallen Angel.
Yeah, I know there's Fallen Angel, but I think it might just be those two. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, because I think this one is called something like this one's called Desperate Times. So okay, they're not all called something Angel. I guess how many angels could you come up with? We only have so many angels. But yeah, so basically like Super Sonic and Enerjak like blow a hole in Angel Island. Like it's a really cool shot of their just like this beam of light that comes down onto Mobotropolis from their impact.
Well, I love Vector being like, the shield's up, right?
And there's a great shot of like Julie Sue and Locke being like forced back by it. Like it's like they really sell the the impact of the
gravitas.
Fight.
No, it feels like a movie, honestly.
Oh, it does.
Also, I don't know if you caught it. Obviously, there's the scene where you can see his mom, and like they're like, oh, like is that Enerjak? But remember, they're like on the other side of the world. So like they can like feel it and see the light.
Yeah. Also, I forgot to mention last issue, Scourge has a line where he goes, "What do you want said in your eulogy?" And to which I wrote, "Oh, Scourge, you say all the right things.
You say all the things that make me so happy."
Yeah, it's great. But yeah. So Supersonic and Enerjak are fighting, and am I crazy or is Supersonic like colored a bit weird in this issue?
Yeah, as it goes, he starts to like turn more green, but I actually really like it. It's kind of like a weird, like as the night goes on, he like gets like greener and greener. I don't know. It's just like, it's like weird. Like usually the Supersonic is like glowy, but I kind of like that it almost like as the night gets darker or whatever, he like kind of changes. I know people have pointed out though, and I think I don't know if they changed it in the volume release, but I really like it. It's neat. So it's definitely different. Like they never did this any other time. So
let me look. Hold on.
Yeah, because they might have changed it back to normal, but I kind of liked the green kind of tilt to him.
I feel like I've always thought this, so maybe they didn't. But let's look. He's still pretty green.
Okay, so yeah, they didn't change it.
I think it's less green. I think it's less green, but like it's still not like the color you would normally associate with Supersonic, or maybe it is. I don't know. Okay. Point is, it's not like the typical like bright Supersonic yellow. Is the point. But yeah, so they're fighting, and it's great because for the whole time Sonic's just like being a dick.
Yes. Because he's trying to. Well, it's great too because he's beating the shit out of Knuckles, but he's also trying to bring Knuckles out by just like being Sonic, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to like make this like their old petty brawls where like they would just like give like he's literally like giving him a noogie. He's like being like, "Oh, you pink, what are you, a girl?" Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like when your sibling is upset, and so you're like you try and pick a fight with them, so they'll like
and it makes it like I don't know, like I feel like the fights just generally like I just feel like it's got a really nice emotion to it of like Sonic is like trying to be all this like there's moments where like when he beats Enerjak or like he kicks Enerjak down or whatever and he like stops and he's like, all right, I think it's working. So like you can tell like this whole time he's doing this, like he's not actually like having fun and like he really is trying to like get Knuckles out of this. I don't know, like I just really like how much this shows how much Sonic genuinely like loves and cares about Knuckles. It's really nice. Like it gives it just like a really nice extra layer of him like doing this and like really trying to like be like, yeah, Knuckles, like let's go, buddy. Like there's a really funny line where he's like he like kicks him or whatever and he's like, oh, you know, you're using magic's cringe, and he's like, oh yeah, would you like if it were crunch time? And he's like, yeah, yes! That's right.
Crunch time. I in my notes I wrote in all caps crunch time, but he said that.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, that's good, I like that.
Yeah. But so basically on the ground Julie Sue and Locke are like, okay, well, Julie Sue's like, okay, we got to figure out something to do. And Locke's like, everything sucks and I hate everything. And I hate myself and I hate
You're
life.
all stupid. I had a really good plan to kill my son, I'll have you know.
Yeah. And Julie Sue's like, would you stop it? Like, you're trying to destroy the son you hate. He goes like, well, I don't hate Knuckles. Like, but he's become, and our community goes, he's become everything we work to create. Like, yeah. So it's he literally says, like you said, he's not a mistake to bury Locke, and we are as much to blame, if not more.
Yeah. And then the thing that really like seals it is her being like, let's go help Knuckles. So earlier she said like you hate Knuckles, and then she ends it by being like, let's go save the Knuckles we love. So like the whole idea is basically like, yeah, Locke is like trying to do his duty. He's trying to like be the guardian, like to make the hard choices. I mean, he literally made Knuckles into a savior because he's like, well, I got to save the world, got to put my unborn son in danger and ruin my marriage. It's for the greater good. So of course now he's on the other side of that, where he's like, well, greater good, greater good. But the moment that like snaps him out of it is that someone's like, you hate your son, you don't love him. It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah. I like to think this is the first time Locke has ever been like, wait, am I the bad guy here? Yeah, so the Destructics are like, okay, let's leave. We got paid. We're done. Sleuth Doggy Dog, the goat, he's like, let's go. And Scourge is like, hey, if Fiona's like, hey, Scourge, you coming? And he's like, no, I think I want to try something new. The Sonic said something a while back that really got to me. So I want to go get some answers. You coming? And she's like, yeah, sure. He goes like, come on, baby, it'll be fun. She goes, it always is with you. And so they go, and we will follow up on that at a later time. But yeah, so basically, Sonic and Knuckles are still fighting. At one point, Sonic goes like, you can't, like, I'm invulnerable. You can't hurt me. And so he goes like, fine, if I can't destroy you, I'll simply send you away. And there's a fun bit where Sonic's underground. He goes, he tries to stop a burrowing species by burying him. At least he's as clever as ever. So there's a fun bit where he just like burrows up to the top and just hits him and like kicks him back to the ground.
Doofus.
Yeah. And
Nerd.
Knuckles uses his thunder arrows. Then punches him, says it's crunch time. And I think this kick Sonic does, I think it's from like Sonic Battle. I think it's called like the axe kick or something.
Probably.
Which is fun. Yeah. And like you say, it's like, why is this not doing anything? Like, it's not like he seems more like himself, but like it's not doing enough.
It's not breaking the spell.
Yeah. And basically, Finitevis is like, you idiots! This is like the spell can't be broken unless someone dies. Like someone has to sacrifice, like I locked it. So someone has to give their life to unlock it. Which that could be a bit of a problem.
Yeah. Well, and he's like, and everyone sucks, so nobody would sacrifice their life for someone else. What are you, stupid? And they're like, you're stupid. Have you watched any movies ever? And he's like, no.
Yeah, I like this idea that he's so evil that he's like completely perplexed by any amount of compassion that someone has for another human being.
Yeah, which I guess makes sense given nobody had compassion on him. So
that's fair. But
they literally tried to euthanize him.
So. But so basically, Locke comes back, and so Julie Sue's like, okay, I'll kill myself, and then Archimedes is like, no, I'll kill myself, and then Locke comes in, he's like, no, I'll kill myself.
Yeah.
And then Finitevis has a line where he goes, I won't have you grave eager fools stopping me now. Which grave eager fools, that's a good insult.
Yeah.
And so he's like, all right, you all suck. And I've never noticed this. As Finitevis is stepping on Locke's head, he's using the warp ring to like pull Julie Sue's hair so he can't come help him. I've never noticed that. That's fun.
That's good.
But then Archimedes poofs him away. And Julie Sue's like, oh, he doesn't have long. And he's like, I won't, like, Locke's like, it won't take long. And he's like, look, I suck. I've sucked for a long time, but like everything we did because we were trying to protect you all. And so like, and he's like, the exact line is, next generation, we want to protect the next generation, to protect those we loved, even if we had to do it from afar. And Julie Sue goes, I understand, he will too. And so then he does the servers of the 7 Chaos chant and frees Knuckles from the curse, and then I guess just like vaporizes himself because there's no body seemingly.
Yeah, basically just like evaporates him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you can see the top of the emeralds like smoking.
Yeah. By the way, I also really like the part where he's like, try to understand, like help, like, or he says like, please try to understand, like help him understand. So I like that, like even in these last moments, like he's like trying to like just like begging, like, no, I do love Knuckles. I'm sorry, like please, Yeah. And then the biggest thing I think that matters is, so when he's talking to her, he's still giving like excuses, you know, of like, oh, we did it for this reason, that reason. But I think the most powerful part is he does the spell, but he changes it at the end. He changes it to release my son, you know, give him his own life to lead, which is obviously referring to him and what he is now breaking the curse that he effectively put on Knuckles. So it's like in his final moment, he like finally accepts that he did something wrong and that he did this to him. It's really good.
Yeah, but so Knuckles, like I said, Knuckles turns back, he dies, and then you know, Julie Sue comes up, and and it's really sad because Knuckles is like, hey, where's Dad? I heard Dad, and Julie Sue's like, yeah, he's dead. Like it all happened so fast, and then Frenetivis comes back. He's like, God damn it! I said so long. I had this whole plan.
I mean, I think he's literally like, rag. Like it's like, dude, not that time.
Yeah. He's like, I did this whole thing and just saw you all suck. And he goes like, at this rate, Knuckles will remember some of this farce. And he goes, I remember everything. And so he starts beating the shit out of Frenetivis and he falls off the island. And he goes, get back up here. And Frenetivis is like, nope. he literally does the like catch you later fingers as he like falls through a warp ring.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then Knuckles, he's like, they're like, all right, well, let's go. Julius is like, all right, well, let's go. Knuckles, let's go tell everyone you're okay. And he's like, no. Knuckles is like, no, everything went bad because I left. I can never leave again. Like I'm up here by myself. I'm going to be game Knuckles now. I'm going to hang out up here alone with the Master Emerald. So we'll follow up on that at a later time.
Yeah.
But we're not quite done yet because we have one final backup story, which is Anything. Which basically Leonda, she gives kind of her whole backstory. Ian, what happens here?
Yeah, basically it's just Leonda being like, it's one last like little tune up catch up for the audience about like Dark Legion, what they're all about. And basically she's like, yeah, so like we're stuck on this fucking rock. We don't have any technology. And you know, so we called you because I think you can help us, but also more importantly, I can be in charge because Leonda's whole thing is that she always wants to be in power. So she's like, yeah, we'll go to Eggman. He'll give us all our stuff. And then like, I'll be in charge of the Dark Legion. And then he's like, yeah, you're hired or whatever. And then right after that, he's like, well, you know, you're not in charge because your grandpa came to me and I gave him cool shit. So he's in charge. Because Dimitri basically had the exact same idea, which is like, because he's just like a head, but now he's got like tentacle arms. Then he can get his people back, which, you know, obviously he probably told them like, hey, you know, let's go help my people. We'll work for you. And then obviously, you know, they'll do whatever they're going to do after that. But yeah, so basically now the Dark Legion and Eggman, because Eggman doesn't have any forces, they are now working together. And they can basically like have leverage over each other. So yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's the point that not Larsu.
Leonda.
Thank you. Makes is like, look, you're kind of in a bad spot too. So like let's help each other. But yeah, and we will see the results of that moving forward. But yeah, that was Enerjak Reborn.
Yeah, what'd you think?
It's good. It is good. Like that's the thing, right? Like this whole thing it's good. It's just again, it's like it's a lot. Can we just have like a fun jaunt where like we fight some robots or whatever? Like
never. Yeah, no. No, I really, really like it. I just think all the emotions are just super well done, like with Knuckles and his family. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like it feels the most dense out of any of Flynn's stories so far. And he really just hits upon like a lot of things to like just be invested in and care about. And you know, in the end, it just does a lot for Locke's character, does a lot for Knuckles in terms of like this is kind of like the fullest final extent of like how his family and his past has like controlled him. And now we have to see like how is he going to deal with that? Because like what I really like is he's like, oh, I'm going to free Knuckles. But does it really free Knuckles if now he has to live with one, all the guilt of this happening and that his dad died for him? Like, you know, so is he really free or is he now have more baggage? So it's kind of like this thing where like Locke never gets to apologize. Again, the last conversation he ever had with Knuckles was him being like, well, if you don't come back, something bad might happen to your mom. Which is, yeah. So like, it's just, I don't know. It's just really, really sad and tragic. And it's great. And I really love, this is a small thing. So for the longest time, I always read it as, you know, Sonic is like, you know, he's getting it to work, but ultimately, when you think about it, Sonic's kind of useless. He doesn't really do anything to like actually bring Knuckles back, other than obviously he keeps Knuckles at bay while everyone else does something, which is still important, right?
Yeah.
Like he's keeping Knuckles from like attacking them while they're trying to sacrifice themselves. But I was actually wrong, because when you read the scene where Locke is sacrificing himself, right next to it is Sonic, and if you notice, whenever the spell wears off, Sonic pulls his fist back and he punches Knuckles, so he still has to break the curse off of Knuckles. So the positive energy thing actually was still important.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah, I never really noticed that, but yeah, that's cool. Also, fun bit, when he does that, Knuckles is all lit up, whereas Sonic is entirely in shadow.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, I do really like this story. This is very, I mean, all Flynn's, I mean, we yet to get a stinker from this pre-boot Flynn run. So like, it's good. Like legit, the only real criticism I have of it is the context in which has come before, which is just a series of stories that are the biggest fucking thing ever, and we have another story that is the biggest fucking thing ever.
Yeah. And then the big twist is like, oh no, that was the biggest fucking thing ever. Holy shit.
Yeah. But it is really good. And if for whatever reason you're listening to this and you haven't read it, go read it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's really good. So no, I'm glad we got to get through it, and I don't think we really need a break this time. We could probably just do the next arc.
What is the next arc? Some shit with Mogul or something?
Yeah, there's a 4-parter with like Mogul. So
okay, we'll do that, and then we'll do an IDW after that. Why not?
Oh yeah, I forgot we need to catch up. So
we do. So yeah, you guys.
What was the last thing we talked about? Was it the Surge arc?
Yeah, it was Surge, and then we did Badnik Island, Scrapnik Island.
No, so yeah, we have a whole arc to do. So yeah, we'll be good. All right, perfect. Well, heck yeah, man. Thanks for having me as usual. Do we need to plug our shit?
I mean, you need to plug your shit. My shit is this.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, Zombie and Waffles. You can find me on YouTube at the same name. I'm actually going to be making videos, so hopefully in December there should be 5 videos coming out. I'm going to try to stockpile them and kind of make up for the fact that usually every year I post at least 3 videos. That's kind of how it worked out. Last year I only posted 1, and this year I haven't posted any. So I want to try to catch up and at least give my audience like something to enjoy. So yeah, thanks for everyone for sticking with me, and thanks for having me as usual.
Of course. Like I said, I'm here, and I'm on Twiller. I'm on Twiller at the Silver Ace 01. Yeah, bye.
Bye.